Hey guys, Reabault here. So last month was the month of my Hawker Kickstarter, and anyone keeping up with that will know that it ended in failure. The project was unsuccessful, and in the end I think we gained about 75% of the funding we needed, which is not terrible, I suppose. Honestly, about a third of the way through this, I knew it wasn't going to work out, unless there was some miracle wave of backers that turned up towards the end. They didn't, as expected. So really, there was no tension in this for me. Things went how I thought they'd go, and I made my peace with the outcome long before it actually came. But now, I've realized it's time to get serious and stop all this dumb stuff. I'm here to announce that I will be quitting comics and all forms of creativity in favor of getting a real job. That's a joke, guys. That's a joke, guys. Calm down. That's a joke. Guys, it's a joke. As if a talent like mine could possibly deny the world what it knows it truly wants. That's also a joke, guys. Guys. So, what does the future hold for Hawker? Well, I've decided after much deliberation that this version of the story isn't good enough, and it's time I rewrote the entire thing from scratch. A new story, new designs, new art style, a brand new Hawker. That's a joke, guys. Told you 3 times. No, honestly now, no more jokes. I mean, as long as you don't consider me and everything I do a joke. Because that wouldn't be very nice at all. This video is actually way more positive than you might expect. I intend to go ahead with printing Hawker through my own funding. I'll have to reach into the savings a little bit, but hear me out. My original plan, of course, was to print one massive 200-page book. And this plan was tough, because it was a little costly, and I needed to work double time to actually get the pages done. But with the funding not being available, and me foreseeing this well in advance, I decided to quickly move on to a compromise. One that I think will actually benefit me in a number of ways. I intend to print 2 books, Hawker split in half. The first book will be the first 3 chapters, including over 1 chapter's worth of extra pages, most of which are previously available to my patrons on Patreon. And the second volume of Hawker I will probably release a couple months afterwards with an equal amount of pages, and it'll be comprised of chapters 4 through 6. I'd like to have the first released at the London MCM on the 22nd to the 24th of May, which is why the deadline was so tight, and is now in fact too tight to actually finish the entire book at once. The second book I think I'd like to premiere at Glasgow Comic Con, which is on the 4th and the 5th of July. What this means for me is that I have a much more lenient deadline now for both dates. Most of the first book is already finished, with only about 9 extra pages that need finishing, and then a little bit of work here and there, editing and fixing up already existing pages, which is very easy work to do in a month. And you know, thinking about this as a dealer with a table in front of me, and I want to put products on this table, 2 books is a lot better looking than 1 book. So, realistically, nothing major will be changing. This just makes things a little bit easier on me. Perhaps not financially, but in every other way. Though, another good reason to split the book up is it'll only cost me half as much to actually print the first volume, which I imagine would only be a little more than I originally planned to pitch into the project as a whole. In the meantime, I'm hoping to properly set up a new website. Some of you may have already seen the name floating around, but for now, there's nothing really to say on that front. Just keep your eyes open for it. Long story short, Hawker will still be printed, and all you guys need to worry about is keeping an eye out for when and where you can get a copy of Volume 1 and 2 when they release. Basically, attending a convention will be the safest way, but you know, keep your eyes out for that website, because that's probably where I'll be posting them for online sales. Pro tip: wait until both are released if you're an international buyer, because you really only want to be paying the postage and packaging fees once. Those things are expensive. Anyway, I hope to have time to release other kinds of content here and there, and until then, I'll see you all later. Peace.
Which I worked pretty hard on, and I'm really pleased about it. But damn, look how thick this book is. It's huge. I didn't think it'd be this big. Look at that.